Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are just going to go through the set 2 card reveals today. I believe that that's them all done now, and they are on the all art side of things at the minute. Yeah, I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible because obviously there's a lot of reveals, but we'll just talk briefly on every card and try and talk about essentially where it could be used, where it could be utilised, and obviously go into a bit of detail on the leaders as well. So we'll just get right on to it. We're going to start in red here. This is a leader that I believe is being called Topku for TOP, Tournament Power. I think this leader's good, don't get me wrong. I think that, you know, you draw on both sides. The only downside is you awaken at 3, right? That's a big drawback, right? Awakening at 3 is really painful because you're now in that sweet spot where your opponent is likely going to kill you. And not being a 25k leader, you don't have that cushion like Broly does. Obviously, Broly awakens at 4, but they go down to 3 life, so more or less kind of the same thing. Although I would argue that Broly's far stronger for that, but yeah, the effect where we, once per turn, we 1 energy, we discard a card from our hand and we play 1 battle card with 20k power or less in TOP and its special traits from our hand is absolutely insane, right? That's very good. There's one card that's not in this video, and it's the Promo Gohan, which is basically, it's essentially the 40k that Frieza has, right? It's essentially that card, but we can play it out for 1 energy because it's 20k and it gains 20k if our leader's awakened. Obviously, you're not playing it without having this effect, so we get around the energy cost of it costing 4 just for that. So I believe that this leader has some good application. It's going to be an aggro leader for sure. You know, you can play the Kefla SR, which can play out other cards as well, which we'll get into a bit later. But I believe that this leader is very strong. I just don't know how I feel about the awakening at 3. I think that is what's going to hold back this leader, if anything. But we'll wait and see what happens. But we'll move on. So we've got we're going to start on the extra cards on all of this. So every time we move into a different colour, we start with the extra card. This extra card is insane, right? This is very good. Choose your leader when your battle cards gains plus 25 if it has 30k power or more. Now bear in mind that will include that 25k, so you only really need to be swinging with a 5k for this to work. Or if you have a 30k already on board, you can put this on your leader swing. But then you add a card 4 or less, meaning that you could essentially get a plus 25k and then a 10k combo from the drop. Absolutely insane, right? I think this card's very good. The only downside is that it costs 2, but I think for 2 energy it's worth it. I think that 100% what red has missed is what essentially green has, which is that 25k combo and Gigantic Meteor, so I think that this completely evens the playing field for red now. And plus this is essentially a 25k combo, let's say, because you just add up a 10k as well, so very good. You could also add back your Keflas, you could add back so many good cards, the 3-drop Gokus, things like that, you know, to set up your next turns and stuff. So this has a lot of utility, this extra card. I'm a big fan of this card. We're going over all of them, including the terrible cards. This is one of the terrible cards. It's a 10k combo, 2 costs 15k, obviously it gains 5k for each of your opponent's battle cards. I just don't see where this is ever going to get used, honestly. I really don't like it. I think it's terrible, nothing much more to say on this one. Android 18, this is kind of the reverse of the Android 17 that we currently have, where it gains plus 5k on your opponent's turn. It's only a 5k combo power and it is not a self-awakener. I don't see this getting play. I really don't. I'm not a fan of this card whatsoever. It's fine defensively being a 25k, but I don't know. There might be a world where you play the Android 18 and the 17, where the Android 17 gives all of your Universe 7s plus 5k, so this would be a 30k defensively, so there is that world where it can see play. I just don't think it's a great card personally. I don't think I would play it over anything else that I would likely add into my red decks. We have this TN, so this is a TN that on play will play 3 of the 1-drop TNs basically, right? That's the only card that this can target currently. I think there are other ones which is like a blocker, or it does something like -5 or so. It's such an irrelevant card, I don't even know what it does from set 1. But this can be played off of Kefla, meaning that if you do the leader skill to tap 1, play Kefla, you then play this from the Kefla, and then from this you can then play 3 TNs, right? So for 1 energy, you've discarded a card, but you've played 4 battle cards, right? Or potentially 5. That's insane. The problem is, though, is that they're all going to be 15ks, because in that leader they're only going to be 15ks. In U7, they will be 20ks, but you are paying the full price for the Kefla at that point, so this is an iffy one for me. I don't know if I would play this personally. It's only a 5k combo as well. Red needs 10ks, So for me, it's a maybe, right? That's as much as I'm going to say on this one. We have the Hela. Hela's interesting. For 4 cost, 25k, and you choose a 30k and minus at 20. If you play this in Beerus, you will kill any 30k battle card for 4 energy, right? That's okay. It's a 10k combo and it's 25k power. That's not great. That's the only downside to it. The 10k combo is great. The 25k power, not so much. I don't know how much of this will see power. You could run it with the Shin, which is it'll buff all of your God of Destructions by 10k, but I just don't see a world where that is ever going to be a very good deck. I don't see a world where that is going to work. You know, your turn 3, you're essentially giving up to the Shin, which is a card that can die pretty easily. I just don't see a world where that build in particular comes into play. When there is a God of Destruction leader at some point, and you know maybe there's some give all your God of Destructions plus 5k or whatever, like kind of similar to U7, there might be a world where this is definitely playable, but for this set, I don't think it's that good a card. Not a big fan of it. Super Combo, it's Universe 2. I don't care about this card, honestly. It's just nothing, so I'm just going to move on. Rumshi, this is a card that I believe is also... I believe it's generated a bit of discussions, especially in my locals group. I don't know about you guys watching. I don't know if you and your friends have been talking about this card. It's a 10k combo, which is good, but it costs 5 for a 30k. Killing a 30k power or less, yes, it's very nice, but I still don't see where I tap 5 for this card over anything else, realistically. That's my thing, right? So I'm not really too sure about how I feel about this card. I think it can be good. It's also a God of Destruction, so again, similar to what I was saying about Hela, if there's ever a God of Destruction leader, this card might come relevant again. I just don't see this having a place in the next meta, personally. That's my opinion. This card is fucking stupid. This card is absolutely insane, right? Oh my god. 10k combo on an SR. And this does everything. Yes, it's a 20k. I get that. 4 cost. You draw 1. Well, it's actually 25, sorry, because of the permanent. But on play, you draw a card, and then you play 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less in TOP and its special traits from your hand. There are a lot of good 3 cost or less from this set TOP. The TN being one of them, the Android 17 being another. There are other cards there which you can play, but those are probably your 2 biggest choices. Unfortunately, the Gohan can't be played off of this effect because I believe it's a 4 cost. I would need to go back and check the promo, but it would be absolutely stupid if you could play Gohan off of this for sure. So they did the right thing limiting this to 3. Yeah, this card's absolutely insane. 25k, 4 energy, draw 1, play another card, right? This lends into aggro so well. So well. And I love this in the U7 leader as well, just because we can field a U7 battle card which also gets a buff. So essentially we could play this, and because their skills aren't negated, you know, you play this, you can go into the Android 17, which it only buffs U7 specifically, but it'll turn your leader into 25k offensively and defensively, which is very good, which I believe is either the next card or the one after. But this Kefla is very good. I am a massive fan of this card. 10k combo power on this card, dumb, absolutely dumb. This for me is potentially an instant 4 of, and it's an instant 4 of definitely in the top coup leader. Whether or not it's a 4 of in U7, that's yet to be debated, but this card's insane. Android 17, this had to be 0k combo for sure. Your leader with U7 and its special traits gain 5k power. Yeah, your U7 leader, your starter coup leader are both U7. The top coup leader also U7. You will have a 25k leader at that point, which is why they awaken at 3. If you can protect this card, because obviously it can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills, but there are ways for yellow to like rest this, attack into it. There are certainly options there for them to kill this. Green, however, can't deal with this card. It can't deal with it. Not unless you attack with it stupidly, which you should never do. This card's insane. This is absolutely insane. For me, a 4 of in any U7 leader. You need to see this card. Turning your leader into 25k means that you're a draw leader and you're Broly level power. Incredible. I love this card. This Gohan, this might replace the 3-drop Goku, right? This is playable off of Kefla with it being TOP, but this could replace the 3-drop Goku for a number of reasons. The one being it has combo power. It doesn't kill 20k or less, which is the problem. I do agree with that. It's 25k as well, by the way. Again, the permanent on your turn when your leader's awakened, it's 25k. Very good. It's a self-awakener, and then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 15k. Goku's a 0k combo. It's not TOP, meaning it's not playable off of Kefla. Also, there is a lot of KO protection this set, or can't be removed by skills. Neg is a different ballpark. Neg is not technically a skill, it's a really weird mechanic that Dragon Ball has always had, where a card says it can't be removed by skills, you can neg it to death and it will get destroyed, because a card can't exist on 0 power. So this card, for me personally, I think this replaces Goku. Maybe not in every deck, maybe U7, you probably still want to keep it just because that's a 30k attacker, but I think for most red leaders, for me, this is definitely the one I will probably replace it with, or maybe run like a 3-2 split or something along those lines in favour of the Gohan, but yeah, I love this card, this is insane. And that ends the red, so we're going into blue now. I'm going to say it, this leader is fucking trash. It's absolute trash. From what we've seen from the reveal so far, there is not enough of a draw engine for blue to keep up a hand size for you to give up your draw and to have an effect where you have to discard to gain life. And you have to be at 2 or less life as well. I don't see a world where this is going to be relevant. The only way that this is relevant is if you do what blue currently looks to do, where you defend from a high life total, you keep your draw on your unawakened leader. I don't know what else to say. I'm not a fan of this leader, honestly. Yes, he's 25k. That means nothing going into this format. This means absolutely nothing. So I don't know how this leader is going to shape up the meta, if at all. I don't think it will. Yeah, I just don't like it. I think that blue currently having an engine where you need to have a low hand size, having a leader that discards and doesn't draw is a terrible, terrible idea. I don't know why this is a thing. I really don't like this leader. This extra card is okay. You look at the top 3, you place them at the top or bottom in any order, and then you draw 1, right? So you could essentially stack your deck and draw the card you want, but it's 1 energy. I don't like it. If this was 0 energy, for sure, it's a great card, but 1 energy, I don't like it personally. That's just me. We have Shin, who is a top 5 for a Potara, which obviously is your Vegetos, and your Zamasus, I believe, are also your few Zamasus are Potara as well. Then you add it to your hand, right? That's pretty much all it is. It's a cantrip for blue. If you're running a blue Potara build, it's a great card. That's about as good as it gets. Hopefully in future sets we'll get more Potara cards that this card can get really, really good with. But currently, it's an average card. It's okay. We have Zuno, who's a blocker. On play, you look at the top 3 and then you top or bottom them in any order. 10k combo, blocker, terrible. This card's terrible. Nobody's playing this card. I don't get this. Super combo is a Supreme Kai. I don't think that's going to get any more relevant, so yeah, we can just skip that one. Zeno, this is a great card. This is great for blue. It's a 10k combo, and you choose all other battle cards other than this and bottom deck them. This is exactly what blue needs. Blue's thing is that it can survive, but when it gets to those later turns where your opponent is just building and building and building, you need to be able to clear the board, and this gives them this. So I think this Zeno is going to force blue players into a much more defensive playstyle where they're going to have to combo out a lot early on. You could do that through cantrips or just random 10k's from hand or whatever, but again, even Gallic Gun actually, I suppose. Gallic Gun being if you're at 7 or less, 7 or less in hand, you stay at 7 or less in hand, you know, it replaces itself, you get out of an attack. So this card is going to lend into Blue's strategy of not taking life early on. And I think this is a great card. It's a 20k attacker, not great, but don't get me wrong, 6 energy to board wipe your opponent, get rid of those Brolys, get rid of those androids, you know, red if they have a wide board, yellow if they have a wide board, to get rid of everything, keep this card, right? I love it. I love this card, I think it's great. We have the 4-drop Goku Black. This, if you have 7 fewer cards in hand, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards that cost 2 or less and bottom deck it, right? It's a 5k combo, but since this has an effect, it's inherently better than the other 30k Goku from the generic one, the vanilla one from set 1. This will replace the Goku Black of choice in that deck. Other than that though, I don't really see it facing much play. But yeah, it's a good card. It was needed because Goku Black, it now has an effect on their card, so it gives them more options as well, which is good. Vegito, this card is ass. This is arguably one of, if not the worst card in the set. It's 0 combo for a 2 cost 20k. When KO'd, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 2 or less and bottom deck it. This does not have blocker, meaning that your opponent can neg it to death, they can rest it and ignore it, they never have to deal with this card ever again. And it's not like it can sit on the board and give you combo power. It gives you nothing, and your opponent can just ignore this card all day long. I don't understand this card. I think it's fucking terrible. It's one of the worst cards that they've printed across both sets, and that includes vanilla cards, right? This card's terrible. We have the 3-drop Vegito. This is the first of our SRs that we've got to go over. So the permanent on your turn, if you have 7 of your cards in your hand, reduce the cost of battle cards in your opponent's battle area by 1. That is the only part of the effect that works in tandem with the other cards, so you could essentially, for 5 energy, bottom deck a 3 or less. Like, whatever. It's not good. It's really not good. I don't particularly like it as a combo, but this isn't that bad. It means that if this stays on board for a turn, it plays into your 5-drop Vegeta, where you can then bottom deck 5 costs, because obviously they're reduced by 1. So there is a world where this card sees play. It's only a 5k combo, and then the on play, choose one of your opponent's battle cards at cost of 1 or less. So essentially you're bottom decking a 2 or less. I'm not a big fan of it. 3 costs, 25k, it's very generic. I'm just kind of, it's alright, it might see play, I just don't see it. Then you've got the Zamasu. When you have 7 of your cards in your hand, draw 1. This is the only way to keep up your draw power. This is the only way to keep up your draw power in the leader that I have seen so far. You play this, it replaces itself the first turn, and then when KO'd, you play this card from your drop in rest mode, and then you can't place a massive fuse for the turn. So it has protection once per turn, which is good, but because it gets played in rest mode, it means that if you're playing against green, for example, and they Broly, well, they've killed it, and now they're swinging 45 into 25 twice. And they, you know, if you combo it once, are you comboing out of it again? Like, the cards you drop from hand protecting this card do not benefit the draw on the attack. So, it's a tough one. This is a good, don't get me wrong, it's a good SR, but for me, it's, I don't think it's good in the leader, that's obviously the Zamasu leader. Not that it's not good, I think it's a staple for that deck for sure, but you're just instantly losing value, which is why I don't see a world where we play it in that leader. I could see a world where you play this in Vegeta for sure. 25k, it has protection once per turn. It means that you can keep pressure. Sorry, excuse me. It means that you can keep pressure on your opponent, and defending in that deck is far easier than defending in the new one. And that's the only thing I'll say. Same for Goku Black, pretty much. But yeah, this is a good card. I like it. And then we have the Zamasu 2-drop. This one for me is a weird one. It can't be removed by your opponent's skills. Again, that doesn't apply to neg, so you can just neg this stuff to death. I don't really get it. You discard 1 card from your hand, draw 1. Like, yes, you get to dig into your deck, but I don't really know what the benefit is here, and it's only a 5k combo. Had this been a 10k, I would argue differently, but I'm not sure about this one personally. I'm still 50-50 on this. I'll probably have to see how the set 2 meta shapes up to know if I like this card or not. Then we have Vegito. This is the secret rare, first one that we're covering. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards, cost a 5 or less, and return it to its owner's hand, so that's fine. We're returning 5 or lesses that more or less will have no combo power, so we don't really care about that. Active main once per turn, essentially it's a dual attacker. So it's a 30k dual attacker, and it's a 5k combo. It's a good card. Not as good as the other SCR for sure, but it's a good card. Yeah, I think it will see play. I just don't know how much of it. Then we go to green. Sell. So we draw 1. When you're left at 4 or less, draw 1, flip over. That's just what you want to do on green. And it still draws on the attack. And then active main, if you have 5 energy, add up to 1 card with a cost of 3 or more from your drop to your energy. So we can keep our energy up that way. Then we got Senju. This card for me could be absolutely snap. This could be meta defining net set. Depending on how green plays out their turns, they can defend on this card, and Broly would be a 30k leader. And then it turns all the other green leaders also into 25ks, which is terrifying. So this card, for me, is going to be the biggest lookout for when it comes to the next set. I think that green did get some good buffs this set. I think that this is by far its biggest, personally. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people will disagree, but I think this card is ridiculously strong. And then we have the Spy Robot. Choose 3 cards, look at them. It's 10k combo. I don't know why you wouldn't include this, even just 1 or 2 copies. When you're going for lethal, and your opponent's on 5 or 6 cards in hand, and you just pick 3 cards and have a look, you know that 50% of their cards are either full of super combos or there's no super combos. Like, you can now go into that battle with a much more informed decision. I like it. I definitely like it. I think it's a good card. This card is, I'm going to say terrible, right? Yes, it's 10k combo, and yes, it's double strike if you have a Goku in the drop, which you can always set up. But it's 5k less than the androids, and the androids also clears 2 battle cards. So I think the androids is just generically better. Super combo, we're not going for that, it's an android, whoop to do. This is the other argument for the worst card in the set. When KO'd, if you have 6 or more energy, add a Broly BR from your drop to your hand. It's a 5k combo, 20k attacker. Like, people are just going to ignore this card because it doesn't have blocker. If it doesn't have blocker and it has these when KO'd effects, they're terrible, right? It's just the way it works. This is a good card for androids. It's a 10k combo. It essentially can replace Vegeta in the android deck because we just pitch 2 energy and then we re-ramp 3 essentially, so we gain a ramp out of this. And it's a 10k combo, but Vegeta has the added benefit of being able to kill a battle card, which is why I don't know if this will fully replace Vegeta in the deck, but it's definitely good. 100%, I like this card. Cell Junior. If you have a Cell with a cost of 8 or more in your battle area, you can use this. You can use and play this card from your hand without paying its cost. It's very good, meaning that this isn't also once per turn, so if you have multiple of these in hand and you have a Cell 8 drop, you can just flood the board. And then you add up to 1 extra from your drop to your hand on play. So you could essentially just Gigantic Meteor or use the instant Kamehameha is probably the better one. You can turn this into a 30k attacker for free. So this card's great. I love this card for that Cell 8 drop. Then we've got the first SR here. All of your battle cards at a cost of 3 can't be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills. Again, does not apply to Neg, but it works for everything else. End of your turn, you play a battle card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. That might come up every now and again. It's a decent effect. But the choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 3 or less and kill it is very good. That's very good. We can just get free removal every single turn and they have to deal with this. It's a 10k combo as well. This card's great. I love this card. Then we have the 8-drop Cell. This one is iffy for me, right? I don't know if there's a world where I play this over Broly. That's my thing. And we have to be careful of the amount of 0ks we're going to run in green. But on play, you place 3 cards from your energy and you're dropping. You choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. Any energy specific, so it just does what Broly does but twice. And then you add the top card of your deck to your life. So you gain back a life for a single attack that can clear 2 battle cards. Don't get me wrong, this is a great card. I just don't know if I would want this to replace Broly. That's my thing. Yeah, it's a tough choice. It is really a tough choice. I do like this card though. It's a great card. You are having to sack off 3 energy, but again, at the turn you're looking to play this, you are likely looking to close out the game. So I think this card does essentially what it wants to do at the time, so I think it's fine. And then we have Trunks Future. On play, if you have 5 more energy, add 1 card from the top of your deck to your energy in rest mode, so it's a ramp. When your battle card with a cost of 5 or more is removed from the battle area by your opponent, this card gains plus 10k power until the end of your next turn, meaning that if they, let's say you have the Gohan on board, they remove the Gohan. This obviously can't be removed because of the Gohan's effect. When they remove the Gohan, you then have this able to play. Or sorry, you have this at 30k, and it's just a defensively easy card to keep a hold of, and then when you swing in your next turn, it's also 30k. So I like this card. It's a good ramp card for 3 energy, for sure. I do like it. And then on to yellow now. This Vegeta leader, for me, I don't know if he'll be as good as Frieza. I don't think he will be, but I love this leader. End of your turn, switch up to 2 of your rest mode energy to active mode, meaning that you can tap out every turn in yellow now and you get 2 back. That's absolutely insane. He awakens at 4. He's a draw on both sides. I think this leader is really, really, really good. And again, future proofing for extra cards. This is a very viable leader going into future sets. This extra card is insane. So when you untap your 2 energy, here's your free card. 25k power. So you are a 45k leader on one of your attacks. Absolutely insane. The active main to choose up to 1 of your opponent's rest mode battle cards costs 6 or more and KO it. That can come up into yellow, into green. You know, they tend to field a lot of 8 drops, 6 drops, 7 drops, whatever. This gives us a way to clear that as well. So I love this card. I think this is an absolute staple for that leader out of 4 of for sure. And then we have Goku. If your opponent has 3 or more rest mode battle cards, this card gains plus 5k power. It's terrible, right? 3 energy, 30k, yes. I don't know. Your opponent has to have 3 or more rest mode battle cards specific, not energy battle cards. So I think this card's terrible. I don't think it'll see play. Piccolo, when KO, choose up to 1 of your battle cards and switch it to active mode. It is a blocker, so that can proc the when KO'd effect. I still just don't see a world where you play this in either leader, personally, but you never know. On play, choose up to 1 of your Piccolo battle cards with a cost of 3 and switch it to active mode. I don't know why you would use this. Yeah, it's a 15k for 2 energy. Yeah, no, this card's terrible. It's a 10k combo, but the effect isn't good enough to give you a 2 energy 15k. Super combo, again, it's an alien. Don't really know why they went with Jackal for this one. I suppose it's part of the Frieza DBS theme, I guess, but I don't know, you could have picked any other character, I think. Roshi, this is terrible. It's a 3-cost blocker, 25k, 10k combo. I'm not going over that. This is arguably the best card from yellow. I would say arguably the best card. In Frieza, this card is stupid good. Once per turn, auto on your turn, when this card is switched to active mode by a skill, choose up to one of your opponent's rest 1 battle cards with a cost of 4 or less, and it can untap. It's a 10k combo, 20k attacker, and obviously you get to attack with it in Frieza, and then you just untap it at the end of the turn, you get that lock effect. I've been saying this for the longest time, that locking a battle card is essentially the same as removing it. If you're going to lock down your opponent's battle cards, it's essentially dead. They don't have it, right? That's the way this works. This card does a lot of work for that yellow Frieza leader. I think it's a great card. It is easily removed, but on the turn where, for example, if you're in a yellow mirror match and they have a cooler on board, we can play this, swing, it then untaps, we lock down that cooler, now it's just a dead card, right? It can't be untapped again, you know, we're perfectly fine with that. Yellow doesn't have a lot of ways to remove this, but again, likewise in red, you know, if they have the 4-drop secret rare, for example, or any 4-drop, you just lock that in rest mode, or you can even just bypass their 3 costs and 2 costs. It doesn't really matter, you put pressure on your lead and then you take their cards out the game. It is very susceptible to red, but I still think this card is an absolute 4 of in Frieza. It's a 10k combo, I don't see any reason why you don't run this at 4. Then we have our first super rare, 25k, 10k combo, always very good on super rares that you get 10k combos, and on play and when attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's rest 1 battle cards and it can't switch to active mode during your opponent's next turn. That is not energy restricted, that is any battle card. Absolutely incredible card, right? This is very good. I don't know if it would be a 4 of. The fact it's a 10k makes me lean to playing more of them than less of them, but for 4 energy, 25k is not great stats, but the ability to just lock down your opponent, which I think is essentially what Frieza's going to do next set, it is just going to be you play battle cards, you attack. Well, guess what? You're never attacking with that battle card ever again, and that's essentially what they're looking at doing here. So yeah, I love this because twice on the turn it's played, you can lock your opponent out of battle cards. You can do it on play and you can do it on swing. It's a great card. I love this card. Bulma, this is a great card for yellow. Switch it to rest, add 1 card from your life to your hand. Yellow has a turn 1 Self-Awakener now. Absolutely dumb, right? Frieza is going to have a field day with this card. And then you choose one. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards that costs a 4 less and switch it to rest. That's probably never going to come up. It might, you know, you could maybe rest a 1-drop cantrip and then swing it that rather than swinging it the leader. I don't know. It's not going to come up all that often. And then if you have a restable battle card with a cost of 3 or more, draw 1 card. So that's also very good. But this effect can come up in the later turns as well, because obviously if you're playing the mirror match, we can rest our opponents. Like coolers, things like that. We could also rest a 4-drop Friezas, but if you have the 1-drop Frieza, it kind of does the same thing, except this self-awakens. That's the only added benefit you get here. You also get the added benefit of if you have a cost of 3 or more, you draw 1, right? That is it. So this could also be played in Ginyu, for sure. Yeah, I love this card. I think it's great. And then Vegeta. Permanent. Opponent's turn. All of your rest mode cards cannot be KO'd by skills. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand and play 1 battle card with a cost of 1 or less from your hand. That's okay, right? It's okay, that's all I'm going to say about it. It's decent, it's good. The effect to protect all of your cards is insane into every colour. I say that, every colour. Most colours. Red is going to neg it to death. Blue will likely bounce them back to hand, so it won't affect them. It protects very well against green. Yellow are just likely now going to lock your battle cards in position, so they don't particularly care about this effect not to be able to KO them. So it's a good card. I don't know how many copies I would include in this, of this card in most leaders, but I certainly like it. It's a decent card. And then the secret rare. This secret rare is goddamn stupid. Your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 5 or more are played in rest mode. That is so dumb, right? Your 8-drop Broly, you play it to kill this card. Well, guess what? You're not swinging with it. So it's like you've tapped out to kill this card and you got nothing for it. And then I will likely go into my next turn and lock it in position so you never get to attack with it again. I love this card. This card is so stupid. On play, choose one of your opponent's restable battle cards. Any battle card, any energy. and KO it. Now again, the KO protection for a lot of these cards is there, but this card's nuts. I think it's very, very good. 40k 6 drop. That stat line is insane. It's very, very good. So yeah, so I 100%, I'm a big believer in this card. I think it's really, really, really strong. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is all the reveals that I believe we've had up to date. I don't know if we're missing anything. I don't think we are. We're not missing anything from the reveals anyway. If there's anything from the set that hasn't been revealed yet, obviously we're missing those. But yeah, this was my take on the reveals and what I feel about each leader. Yeah, I think that most of the set 1 leaders will likely still be the meta. Topku has the opportunity to be up there in the set. I think out of all of the leaders, Topku this set is probably going to be the most meta defining. And I'm not saying it will be, I'm just saying out of the 4 it will be. Vegeta as well definitely is up there. I don't think Cell's going to change too much in the meta, and I also don't think Zamasu, I definitely don't think Zamasu will change anything in the meta either, but that's my opinions on each card. Take it or leave it. If you guys agree or disagree, feel free to hit me up in the comments and we can have a chat about it for sure. I'm always open for discussion. But guys, if you like videos like this, please give me a like and a subscribe. And I will be doing a set 2 tier list. I'm probably going to do a set 2 tier list maybe in a week or so. Because I've had no practice with any of the set 2 leaders, I don't really know how to formulate it, but I have ideas in my head. I'm probably going to try and get some untapped games in where I can use the new cards and the new leaders and maybe just try and do a bit of testing that way before I make that decision. So that'll probably be coming in the next week or so, I'd imagine. But yeah, but guys, honestly, thank you very much for watching and I appreciate you all, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.